Okay, so we're ready to evaluate some algebraic expressions that have exponents. So first of all, to evaluate, they're going to have to give us a number to work with. And they're saying they're giving us x is -2. So wherever we see the variable x, we're going to replace it with what number? -2. All right, so let's go to our first expression. Our first expression says x squared. So what we're doing is we're replacing the x with -2. Now this exponent belongs to the x. So that means this exponent belongs to this whole number. And to show it belongs to this number, -2, we're going to have to put it in parentheses. That is the key. So we're going to write -2 squared. There's your substitution step. Now we'll do our calculating. We'll actually work it. -2 squared means -2 times -2. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 2 times 2 is 4. So there is our expression evaluated. Okay, our next one says -x squared. So again, the first thing we're going to do is substitution. Here comes our first boo-boo. We know we're replacing x with -2. What a lot of us want to do is not worry about this negative sign. Well, you have to leave it there. Remember, substitution means to rewrite. We leave everybody in this expression except for the letter x. So we leave that negative sign. We are replacing x with -2. And then it's squared. So that's really what we have, guys. We have minus -2 squared. Well, we can't square yet because we have to do what's inside parentheses. And inside, we learned in algebra, you never write a number that has two symbols in front. This says subtract -2, and we learned subtract means to add the opposite. We know two negatives make a positive. Subtract -2 means to add a +2. So what we're really doing is we're doing 2 squared. We know what that means. That means 2 times 2, which is +4. Okay, our next expression says -x squared. And everybody pay close attention. No parentheses. Big difference. This had parentheses. So what we're going to do again is we're going to do substitution. We're going to replace our x with -2. We leave this negative sign. Do you understand me? We leave it. We replace x with -2. We bring down that exponent. Now, because there are no parentheses, this exponent belongs to this number. Why does it belong to -2? Because that's what we replaced x with. So I'm going to write it like that. I'm going to show that exponent square belongs to the -2 because that exponent belongs to that. So if we follow order of operations, we don't change the two negatives to a positive. They're not together. See, over here, the two negatives were inside parentheses together. So we had to do what was inside first. Over here, they're not together. And according to order of operations, we have to do the exponent. We are going to square -2. So this negative stays in front. This means we're going to do -2 times -2. Well, we know -2 times -2 is +4. We still have this negative in front. This negative is really the number -1. And -1 times 4 is -4. So there's a huge difference between having parentheses and not having parentheses. Not having the parentheses means this negative sign follows all the way down. Okay? Look here. Here's my expression. 2x squared. So first we're going to do our substitution. We're going to replace our x with our number -2. Now these are side by side, these terms. So that means they're connected by multiplication. So that's how I show that. Okay? We're not going to square yet because we're going to do what's inside, and we can do inside. 2 times -2 is -4. Now we're going to square -4, which is -4 times -4, and a negative times a negative is a positive, and 4 times 4 is 16. So we replaced our x with -2 because we had two numbers inside parentheses. We do what's inside first. All right. Let's go to our last expression. If you look, now I do not have the parentheses. So even though I read these the same, they both read 2x squared. This means a different. We're going to bring down the 2. We're going to replace the x with what number? -2. And then there's this exponent. And everybody look. This exponent, the square, only belongs to the letter x because this term is not in parentheses. Over here, this squared belonged to both. So it's very important when we write this, we just put the parentheses around the -2 because that's what we're squaring. Without parentheses, this exponent only belongs to the x. The x is -2, so that's why I'm putting it in parentheses to show that square belongs to -2. So if we follow order of operations, we don't multiply first, we do the exponent first. So this really means 2 times -2 times -2, because squaring means to multiply it by itself. Well, a -2 times a -2 is a +4, and 2 times 4 would give us 8. So do you see how important the parentheses are? With parentheses, without parentheses. Even though we substituted in the same number, we got 2 different products, 2 different results. So pay very close attention to that. Okay, we'll continue our discussion of multiplication in our next video.